for the simple person getting started, has never been around government contracting, you could give more detail on what that is and how someone like Corey with a small business can maybe get into one of those programs so they can have a chance to maybe work with someone like you. YouTube, welcome everybody. Another episode, man. We at episode 23, dog.
Being today's
full-blown adult now.
We can be held accountable for our actions.
Yep.
Charged as an adult, because we are. 2 more years before the insurance goes down.
Right, that's what I'm about to say. 25, baby.
We almost there. But Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, welcome to another episode of Technically Speaking, where we give you news
that you can use.
You already know.
Yes. You already know. I am your co-host, Geronimo, aka Tech Von Go. And then we also have our co-host, Bobby. Say what up, Bobby?
How you
and
doing?
That's Bobby with an I, because Y is for a guy.
Right. Bobby with an I, Y is for a guy.
And then we have our co-host, Corey Giovanni. Say what up, sir.
You know who it is. It's the main man with the game plan, Corey Giovanni. Tapping in. You already know. Let's go.
Let's go. And so you said let's go. So let's go. We got a special guest tonight. She goes by the name Lelanie Rivera. She is a small business liaison for a 3-letter agency, which we cannot say because it's G14 classified. She is a mother and an entrepreneur. Facebook, IG, and YouTube. Help me welcome Miss Lelanie Rivera to the show. Let's go.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, TS fam.
Oh yeah. So real quick,
squad, but
we thought about doing the TS, and the first thing Corey said was like, "Nah, we don't want them problems with Fat Joe." Nope. Hey, Fat Joe, we love you, man. Crack. I can't roll my tongue. I can't. Y'all know what I'm saying. So I want to share how we got here. So I met Lelanie in Hawaii about a year, almost 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah,
about a year ago at a small business conference with the government, U.S. government, right? And we became friends and stayed connected ever since. And she's been supporting the show, so thank you for the support, man.
Thank you for the support.
Oh yeah. And she hit me one day on Instagram and asked when do I get to come on the show?
It was a joke.
We gonna bring you on
you because now you're here.
Oh yeah. And I told her, man, don't threaten me with a good time. Come on, we're gonna have some fun. Bring it on. So let's get this thing going, man. So I got some questions for you, and the team got some questions for you too. But I'm gonna hit you with the first one just to get us going. So you're a small business liaison with a 3-letter agency, right? What does that mean for those of us that don't work in government contracting, like Bobby and I, right? What does that mean? What do you do, and how can it help people?
Okay, so annually, the U.S. government spends about $600 to $700 billion in goods and services, and so we go to private companies, right, to partner with us to provide those goods and services. And so so we look to small businesses because we don't want the big guys taking all the work, right? So we look to small businesses to partner with us through contracts. And so we do have certain goals at each agency to meet these small business goals under specific socioeconomic category. So there's this 8A program through the SBA, HubZone, SDVOSB, which is a services stable veteran-owned small business, women-owned small businesses, HubZone. And so we look to those companies to contract with the federal agencies.
Nice. So you were talking about those designations. Can you go more into detail on what that is? Because like I said, the gov contract folks, we know, but not everyone. For the simple person getting started, has never been around government contracting, you could give more detail on what that is and how someone like Corey with a small business
Thank you.
Get into one of those programs so they can have a chance to maybe work with someone like you?
Yeah, so you would be certified through the SBA for the 8A program, which is a socially and economically disadvantaged business. So basically, you get first cracks at some of the government contracts or specific set-asides or direct awards, depending on the goods and services that the federal agencies need. And then women-owned small businesses, you have to be 51% owned and controlled by women-owned small biz, or be 51% owned and controlled business by women. And then hub zone, you have to live in a specific area that's underutilized. It's historically underutilized business zones. And disabled owner has to be 51% service connected and that owns the business.
There you go. Nice. So I'm gonna reprocess it because I went to LA public schools. So just in the terms that other people that went to LA public school understand, if you have a small business, right, that can benefit the government and help their mission, right? If you fall under underserved category, right? Because that trying to use simple terms, right? Like women-owned business, service disabled veteran, hub zone, right? And what hub zone? Hub zone is again like a underserved, underutilized area, right? You got to put it in translation in simple terms. The hood, okay, like the hood, and hood equivalents that are underserved, right? That's for us. You know what I mean? Like, and there's stipulations with that, right? Because those programs are meant to help people, right? Help people kind of give them a hand up, not a hand out. Right?
Kind of a boost to the economy in that local area. So
boom. So there you go. Yeah. So for those, I wanted her to share that because I know we have entrepreneurs that are part of the Technically Speaking family to where I've heard, different conversations of, man, how do I get, business with the government? Boom. Right. There you go.
We buy everything, from pencils to fighter jets. So
oh yeah, I'm building a fighter jet right now in my backyard.
Right now.
Well, I mean, so a person like one of our friends of the TS family, Dr. Poole, right? He is he owns a pool cleaning company. If you guys have contracts, because it's a federal contract, right? So those contracts would be able to help with, let's say, a gymnasium that's owned by the government.
Yep.
Right. So he would be someone.
Pool cleaning services, and yes, they'll post it on sam.gov, which is
sam.gov.
Sam.gov is where you'll find opportunities for federal contracts.
Good. I just recently took a course. Well, it was like a community course about how to get government contracts, right?
Out there.
Yeah, and you have to bid for them, and then you have to be available. Can you tell not just me, but the community, what are some of the things they need to do to get started? If they say, for instance, I just got my LLC, what is the next step of them looking to get a government contract?
If you want to get a government contract, you have to register in sam.gov. That's where you submit all of your information to where your financial information to where you'll get paid through the government, but you have to have a SAM registration in order to participate in government contracting.
Is that SAM with 1M or 2?
1M.
Yeah. 1M. Okay. All right.
And anybody with an LLC can go ahead and create an account.
Yeah.
I because me and Geronimo had this conversation, a quick conversation about it, like I say, about a month ago. And I was asking him, like, I'm gonna need some help because I was thinking about getting a government contract with some video services that they may be interested in using because and I know they're going to partner. The government and the city is probably going to partner up for the Olympics in 2028, which will be in Los Angeles, California. And I am trying to get a contract with that particular event. And I wanted to look into a government space contract for that because they are already distributing funds to nonprofits in the area around there, so they can be able to already be well active and running. And that's my goal. That's my short-term goal, is to be part of the 2028 Olympics with my entertainment company.
That's awesome, Corey.
Yeah.
it is. Hell
And
yeah.
look, in 2036, the Olympics will be back in the United States, and they will be in Utah. So that's another opportunity for some of the people, some of our listeners in Utah, so they can be able to take advantage of that as well. And I'm glad that you're on here, because the difference between a contract with a contract with a government and a non-contracted freelancing is major. You know what I'm saying? I've been studying a lot about the contracts. As small businesses and as independent as entrepreneurs, we always think like, okay, well, we got to work on the business, work in the business, and then we have to go get the business.
Yeah.
With the contract, we'll have the business, and it's steady and consistent. Think about it is, well, yes, because it's contract, long as everything is in place, based off of what I've read. Like there's a certain amount of fund, like if the contract is for $200,000 and you have all your ducks in a row and everything's lined up and you're doing the work, the pay schedule, however it is, will be distributed like bi-weekly or monthly. And the thing about it, it's government, so it's a contract, it's in place. And you'll get paid on time. Sometimes there is a delay, I think, for 60 days, but you still will be able to get paid.
Yes.
And as an entrepreneur, making cold calls, going out sending flyers and shaking hands and kissing babies, sometimes it's very, very hard to get somebody to answer that phone call or to reach back out to you. But if you know you have a sustainable set of generated income coming by doing the work, you then now have a successful small business.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that it's bringing in revenue.
Yeah. So you got to do the homework prior to find out what the agency buys. I mean, you can go on SAM.gov, FPDS.gov. This is a federal procurement data system. Provides information on all contract awards by agencies, I think $3,000 or more. So you can see who the previous contractor was and how much that contract was for. So do your homework prior, have a capability statement available.
Capability statement.
Capability statement.
To the agencies, to your small business liaisons, to your contracting officers, program offices. Show them your experience that you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because one thing I know for certain is two things for sure. Once something catch a trend, everybody starts doing it, even government. Because there's going to be a government space for podcasting, and I'm pretty sure we're going to look for those contracts so we can be able to be your government contract providing information location. Because the government also needs news that you can use.
There you go.
There are communication offices, program offices for agencies that you might want to reach out to or kind of find out what it is that they're looking for. Contracting officers will post on SAM.gov market surveys. So if it's something that we don't typically buy, they'll post a market survey or sources sought, and they'll say, hey, world, who can provide this service? Let me know. So you send in your information to them, and that helps them determine the acquisition strategy on whether to set it aside for a small business, or if there are no small businesses available, then we'll go to the large businesses to provide that.
Right.
And so continually checking on SAM.gov is the recommendation. It's a full-time job. It's a lot to go through. There's so many agencies that you can work with. Like I said, $600 to $700 billion a year. Federal contracts is a lot. There's a lot of opportunities, and all of us can get a piece of that pie. Well, not me, but
we understand.
a piece of that pie.
So, and another thing is, I do believe that, only because I knew this before going into taking this small business course about government contracts, that individuals who are seeking these contracts need to be familiar with their SIC code, SIC code, because of the fact that they need to know if their line of work lines up with the SIC code that's actually for this contract.
Oh yeah, I mean, I go to conferences all the time, and I get people that are like, "You guys need babysitting services?" I'm like, "Not really, no." Or
Right.
do you guys? I sell tea. Do you guys need to buy tea? I'm like, "No, we don't need to buy tea." So
the t-shirts, t-shirts. They do, because I seen some USA shirts and I looked at the back of the tag. Oh, that's a gilded. We provide those.
Oh yeah, I mean uniforms. I mean, you can provide to the DoD. So services like pool services, janitorial services. I know my agency does a lot of janitorial services. We have so many facilities. Within the janitorial services, there's snow removal, pest control, elevator maintenance.
Water restoration.
Water restoration.
Water
restoration.
There you
go. My turn for questions. Wait, Corey, wait.
Look, Bobby, you know, when I saw you reaching for paper, I was like, let me throw my sister an alley-oop.
Man. Okay, well, you know what? You just set me up.
So
now I've got questions.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's go.
Okay, you set me up. Thank you, Corey. So I own two companies. I have a carpet and tile cleaning company. And we are ready and expanded for commercial services. Mm-hmm. And then our main company, my husband and I do water mitigation and mold mitigation. And that's what I was wondering, is that something that I can put my name in the hat for? And this is 100% woman, disabled, veteran-owned small business. We're SDVOSB here in the state of Texas. I do own the LLC. The capability statement, that was something new. And you said that this was something that you kind of just kind of shows, like, this is basically what we're capable of, maybe how much equipment we have on hand, how many jobs we've done, how much revenue we've gone through in the last 2 years since we've been in business. Is that kind of a roundabout?
Partners who you work with.
It's your company's resume. So
right. And so a majority of the jobs that we've done, everything is through homeowners insurance. So it's actually homeowners insurance companies that pay us, that give us out, our pay. We try not to take any money from the homeowner, because at the end of the day, nobody wants a homeowner to sit there and try to take out a small loan to get water damage taken care of. That's literally what you have homeowners insurance for. Yeah. And so it's a lot easier, to build a homeowners insurance company and work with them, get the pictures out to them, get them all the water readings, all of that stuff. And so I wondered if that was something that would translate onto the government side, which you said it is, which is fantastic. Yes. I took down sam.gov, fpds.gov. So those are websites I'm going to look into.
And I have a capability statement, a mock-up capability statement. So I'll send that over to you too, Bobby.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Appreciate it.
And then you would put your certifications on there. So
so my husband is water mitigation certified for the state of Texas and mold mitigation certified. So these aren't just something that we just started. This is something he has the certifications for.
Yeah. Oh, also your small business certifications, because that's what we'll look for too.
Okay.
Is determining the set aside for these types of contracts. So
so we have an SBA account. I remember you saying that. For people who don't know, the SBA, with all the acronyms, is Small Business Administration, and being able to kind of put your name out there. SBA is the way that you would do it. Also, I know that you can receive, I think, low interest, like business loans, if you're just up and coming. Like you need to get equipment. Equipment's not cheap, and so we do. That's kind of how we started with that and got some information. But I do have another question. So we're DVOSB, so as a disabled veteran, I obviously get disability. Now, whenever you do contracting with the government, a lot of times they have either caps or stipulations on how you can do work with them, because you do receive disability federal benefits. Does this also kind of put you in a category where you can actually get your benefits from Veterans Affairs either lowered or completely taken away because of working for the federal government?
Good question.
A lot of times they don't let you kind of what they call double dipping.
Yeah, that I'm not sure about. So you might have to check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is
trying to lose my little pension.
Owner, yeah, you don't want to lose that.
That's that photo money. We got some questions too from IG. They've been picking on me because I haven't asked the questions yet. So they just discovered I'm the only one that can actually see what they're saying because it's my profile.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm gonna log in just.
Sorry, y'all, we're not ignoring you.
No, we're not.
So you got a question from Dr. Poole. He said thanks for the shout out because you shouted him out earlier. Family friend to the show, actually.
Yes.
So he had his first question was, would extra taxes be implied by using this program? So i.e., if he was trying to get a contract with the government to offer his services, would there be extra taxes that he would have to pay?
No, you would include all of that in your pricing for when they ask for proposals. So no, you shouldn't.
Boom. Yeah. And again, I will say this because I've had a chance to see all of that. I've bounced around the GovCon world. So there's some courses to help you with that. Anyone that's interested. Apex, right? Apex
accelerators. Yeah, they're a good resource. They help with certifications. They'll help you review the solicitations. If you don't know how to go through them, they provide courses. And so they're a great resource to go to if you're starting out as a business because they do help you with that. They'll put on conferences or events too where you can network. They'll bring government agencies so you can meet with small business people like me or contracting officers or program offices. So they're a great resource. And they not only do it for federal, but you have your local state and cities and counties that you can do contracts with. It's not just with federal agencies. You have opportunities with those other like the county and stuff. So or the state. So
you know what that sounds like? My favorite hippie sabotage song, Options. Because the hook says options. Yeah, I got options. I'm trying to say, you small business owners out there, y'all got options, man. Think about when I first got in on because I was on the business development team where we had to go hunt these type of contracts right before I came back on site with Bobby, right? And there's a plethora. Like I did not realize there was so many government agencies. You got your main agencies and they got subordinate agencies. They agencies got agencies, okay? That means there's opportunities, right? But it's work, boy. I'm gonna tell you right now, you gotta put that work in for real work. It is not for the faint of heart. But if you can impress, a contracting officer team, because you just got that service they need. Hey, like Corey said earlier, is that government money don't stop, baby. Let's go. You gonna get
You gonna get that check.
It ain't always on time, right? But it's gonna come. It don't always come when you call, but it's like
14 days, small business. We try, okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing. The thing about it is, it gets the small business entrepreneur individual working. It gets them in the motion where they know that if a bill is due, it can be paid. It gives them a chance to grow from being a small business to a mid-size and then possibly an enterprise. The thing about it is, that is what I truly love about the sam.gov website, because it's not hard either. Once you understand business, and if you're only going to be looking on there once you understand business and for an entrepreneur, you can be like, oh, okay, click this. It makes sense. I thought it would be very, very complicated, but it's not. It's very easy to navigate.
Have you guys seen the movie War Dogs?
Yeah, I did not think about that.
Love that movie.
Yeah, that's the one with Shia LaBeouf, right? Not Shia LaBeouf.
No,
not Shia LaBeouf.
He looks like Seth Rogen.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
So
that's the one where they're doing the gun running, right?
Yeah.
They're running guns.
Yeah.
You can't say guns on certain platforms.
Yeah.
It took me a second. I was like, wait, I know I've seen that movie.
It was based on a true story. They won a $300 million contract to supply ammunitions to the troops in Afghanistan. But they got into some shady business. So there was some fraud involved. They were getting low grade, like Chinese-made ammunition.
Yeah.
So
that movie was good.
We don't want to do that.
Ammo.
Because one of the guys went to jail for 4 years, and the other guy got house arrest for I think 7 months or
But
so.
they made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
It was just them two.
Yeah. But
you
would get debarred if you
Yeah.
government. So you don't want to do that.
You have to create a whole new LLC.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean if you get debarred from the government? Just for those that may not know.
You can't do business with the government.
So you better do it the right way. Never ever? Forever?
Never ever.
And then you got another I need your help, Lelanie, because Dr. Poole said something here that maybe you can help with. Let me see. He said he feels much more comfortable taking money from clients, private sector clients, than taking money from the government. Well, what can you do to kind of ease that concern?
We're not in the business to put you out. So we want to help small businesses. You guys are the backbone to the economy. You guys come up with great ideas that maybe, nobody else can come up with. So I actually had a guy that called me last week that had an idea for airplanes, airplane tires. And so he's trying to find out how he can get in touch with someone so you can write papers. If there's a problem to something and you have a solution to it, you can write white papers and submit those to agencies or submit unsolicited proposals, which can then in turn turn into a possible contract. So if you do see a problem with anything in the agencies, there are those opportunities where you could possibly get a contract from those white papers alone.
I need to look into that. That's awesome.
Yeah, good point. Do some white papers. That's good. So hopefully that helps, Dr. Poole. And anybody else, because if one person has a concern, maybe more people have that same concern, right?
Exactly.
So hopefully that.
And that's why you want to like, comment, and subscribe right now. So that way, when we come back with these tips throughout the week, you'll be updated and you'll be ready to roll.
Yes, for sure. And I'll make sure we have the links in the comments too when we repost it, so y'all can have access to those resources. So thank you very much on that, man.
Yes, I do have another thing to add real quick. So if you don't have any experience working with federal agencies, you can become a subcontractor to some of these firms. There are large businesses who are awarded these huge dollar contracts, but they have to meet a small business. There's a small business contracting plan that goes with it if it does get awarded to a large company. So they're always looking for small businesses to participate on those contracts and partner with, because they do have small business participation goals that they have to meet by through the contract. So
that's good to know.
Awesome.
Yeah. And there's rules and regulations to the whole government contracting. So other agencies use the FAR, so the Federal Acquisition Regulations. So I would familiarize yourself with that as well.
Yep.
Awesome.
My agency uses a different set of rules and regulations, but
that's right. I remember you showed me that. I was like, what? Yeah. So just pay attention to that, right? Because you got the FAR, which is kind of like overarching overall government, right?
Majority.
DFARs, which is for the Department of Defense, and then you have other derivatives, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I'm putting my government hat on. I was gonna go ahead.
Similar to the FAR, but a little bit more flexibility with my agency.
Can I ask one quick question? Have anybody ever got a contract just once and then they just said one hit and that was it?
Maybe there. I don't know of anybody. I do know that one company would only come to our agency because he really liked working with our agency, but maybe it's not for everybody. Government contracts, maybe they don't like the process, maybe they don't like the rules and regulations that comes along with it. So
we kind of spent a lot of time at the beginning with the interview because you were sharing so much gold. So we got time for like 2 more segments before we got to wrap this up. So I know we can't keep you all night, but I do know we wanted to acknowledge Filipino
American History Month.
History Month.
Yeah.
And does that start October 15th?
No, well, it's the whole month of October, but
The whole month of October. Oh, wow.
so it was basically commemorates the first arrival of Filipinos on October 18th, actually, in 1587.
15.
Oh, wow.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So for a while there, we were under the Spanish rule for 300 years or so.
Okay.
And they brought the culture, religion, the Catholics, so which I am today, and part-time, and and so they brought the foods and then even the names. So a lot of Filipinos that you'll meet will have Spanish last names.
Right.
And that's because they had to keep track for tax purposes and making sure what was it? Hold on. Collect taxes and organize records. That's what it was. So
Right.
So you'll have Santos or Gonzalez or De La Cruz. So you'll have all of that. Also, the language is similar to Spanish. So like La mesa, table, right? And also, so what I say? Oh, so here's a funny one. We have this dessert called puto, which is a rice cake. Different though from what in the Spanish language.
The Spanish puto, which
damn,
I don't know if we're gonna get tagged for that. My fault.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, what are you doing, man? We were flying under the radar.
I've had this conversation before though, because my next door neighbor, she's Filipina, and so the last couple of times she's made pancit for us. We've she made the puto too, and I was like, I'm sorry, you said what? I speak Spanish, but she speaks Tagalog, so she goes, no, it's not what you think. I was like, why would you call it that? I don't know what we call it. But she did make us that, and she made us like mochi balls, and she makes us like coconut macaroons and like some really good. I know.
Man. You know what I do like about learning about other. You know what I do like about learning about other cultures?
What's that?
Like, and I would love for Lelanie to expand on it. How are you guys cultured when it comes to like marriage? What traditional things you guys do during weddings and during like celebrations?
Good question.
Because I noticed, I've been to a Jewish wedding and that was amazing, right? And then I've been to a Spanish wedding and that was amazing as well. And of course, the traditional Black and African American weddings are nice too. But I like experience other cultural differences, and then I like to see how do they blend it. Like if a Filipino individual is marrying an African American, how do they blend the cultures?
Well, I guess traditionally you would get married at a Catholic church,
right?
And then have reception with everybody and their mama come into to this thing and dancing all night. We do have money dances, so the female dances with somebody else and they pin money onto you, and also the groom does that as well. We do have a cord and veil that we incorporate into the ceremony too, so cord kind of unites the couple as one. Don't ask me what the veil meant, I forgot, but so that's one of them. But we party, they're pretty big celebrations.
Is there like a traditional thing they put in their vows?
No, not really. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to,
So the first wedding that I had attended in Colorado a few years ago was one of my very close friends. She's Filipina, and she married an Indian, and they had a culture clash because his family was very upset that he was not marrying a traditional Indian woman, and the family, I guess, is supposed to give like a special dowry to the bride. And so she did not receive the jewelry and stuff that she was supposed to because she was of a different culture. Things have kind of changed now. The family accepted her now and stuff, especially since they have a little girl together now. I think she's like 4 or 5 years old. And we always know that whenever kids come into the mix, it will always change the mind of the grandparents and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, it's always interesting to see the cultures, because regardless if you do have different cultural ideas, you will always find common ground with other cultures. Always. Yeah.
Right. And Dr. Poole also said the first church he ever went to was a small Filipino church in Las Vegas. And they were very nice people. They gave him a place to stay when he was sleeping on the streets.
Okay. Very hospitable people.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Mess around.
Yeah, my next door neighbor for sure.
Filipino neighbors.
The kids love going over there too. They're like, Mary here, she's gonna give us this, because they know every time we go over there, she's like, sit down, let me give you something to drink. And I tell the kids, don't take nothing from her. And they're like, oh, but she gives it to us.
Yeah.
You know, I believe one of my friends, his name is Palm, right? And we worked at T-Mobile together. He actually now is a motivational speaker and training for T-Mobile in Hawaii. And I believe once, like they have a tradition with going to, like when I'm not sure if his grandfather passed, and he went back home to the Philippines, and their ashes. It was something special that they did with his ashes. I'm not sure. Is that something familiar?
It doesn't. No. Typically they do burial, but it just all depends. But all the funerals I've been to are burials. I went back for my grandma's funeral back in 2011, but instead of the casket being at like a funeral home, it's in her house. So we're there for 9 days praying every day. And then there's people there all the time, and there's gambling happening and just a big gathering. So it's kind of a party, I guess.
Celebration
while the body is still there, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that in a Spanish home where they actually celebrated for a week, and the body was still there in the living room. And they came in. Well, my mom, I didn't, but my wife's friend, they did that. And I was like, wow. And some people thought it was really strange, but then you see the fact that everybody would come from all over, because they, like, if there was a one service, they couldn't make it, because obviously when somebody passed, especially if it's sudden, you don't have time to plan for it. So people were coming all over for about a week, and they were able to pay their respects while the body was still there in the home. And I was like, wow, that's honorable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For 9 days, her casket was in her living room. So there was people visiting all the time, eating and karaoke. There was karaoke some nights. There was a whole band that came. I couldn't go to the funeral itself because I was pregnant, and this leads to the superstitions. I don't know if we're going to go over that, but I couldn't go to the funeral because I was 5 months pregnant then, and they say that if you go to a funeral, the spirit can enter your babies. So I saw her the first day I got there, and then I couldn't really be in that room the whole time. To the services, but I was there, so
you know what, I think that's a great time to just transition into cultural superstitions because we were talking about this stuff, right? So we're going to combine a new segment that Lelanie inspired. We're going to start just asking you, everybody out there, make it make sense, right? Like you brought up a couple of things, and it was like, I thought like, no, these are questions we need to like do. Make it make sense. Let's start with the cultural superstitions, right? Because like not knowing, every culture, I'm ignorant to think. Ignorant is just, you just don't know, right? It's not a bad word because certain places back home in LA, you call someone ignorant, start a fight.
It's fighting. It's fight words, homie. Right there from between here and Normandy and Western, you say ignorant, we getting ignorant. Okay? We taking the R out and putting the double N-A-N-T on it.
Now I gotta ask people to make that make sense. Make it make sense. Why is that word a fighting word? It like by definition, it's just you just don't know.
Okay, no, see, that's the thing about it. People don't know the definition. And look, I'm not the cleanest cup in the cupboard, but I'm gonna tell you this. What it is people hear ignorant and then they actually start throwing other words and letters around there, and then they get the and so then they be like, oh, you call me a what?
Yep. Nah, you right. Because normally it's followed by you ignorant.
Yeah. So and don't let it come from a different authority, and don't let it come from a different cultural background. It just fingers become fists. And this becomes movements.
Educate us more about that, Lelanie, what you were talking about. What's the background behind that, if you don't mind sharing?
The superstitions?
Yeah. The one where you couldn't go because the spirit might get the baby or something like that.
Might enter the babies. I don't know. The baby would take on the spirit of whatever.
The grandma?
Yeah.
Oh. Would that be a bad thing if she was really loved, though?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know if they're good spirits or bad spirits. I don't know.
I'm a Christian, so I'll be honest with you. Only spirit I know about is the Holy Spirit.
And I'm indigenous, so I know about plenty of spirits because we give praise to the spirits, right? So speaking of which, shout out to the Indigenous Peoples Day and Columbus Day for some, right? Whatever side of the spectrum you're on. So we multicultural tonight. So much love.
I gotta say this, man. Only Chris that I recommend, the only Chris I acknowledge is Chris Wallace.
I like it.
I'm just kidding.
I got another superstition real quick.
Hit us.
My grandma used to tell me that if I went to sleep with my hair wet, that I would go blind. But I tested that one time, I think in middle school or high school. I can see, baby.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, bro, we gotta do a whole segment on superstition. Then we gotta come back and do that.
We do. We gotta come back.
One more real quick. On New Year's Eve, you're supposed to jump on New Year's so you become taller. Didn't work.
It didn't work for me.
That's not happening for me.
Jump on New Year's so you could get taller.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Poole has something that's really hilarious. I'm gonna let you read it, Geronimo, because I got kids in my house.
Well, I gotta read it. You said, okay, my door's closed. All right. So he said my granddaddy used to say that if you masturbate, you have hair grow in the palms of your hands, but I never had the hair in my
Dr. Poole, up to you. You about to lose some customers, man. You ain't supposed to be letting them know what you do with your hands besides Big Poole.
Oh man, that's a hell of a superstition, man. I got one, and I didn't learn this until I moved here to San Antonio, right? Got a baby girl, and we would go places, and like people would come, I gotta come touch your baby. And I'm asking Amanda, I'm like, why they keep touching the baby? And maybe you can help me out. Forget what it's called, Bobby Lopez. Like out here,
it's ojo.
The way how you say it?
It's ojo.
Ojo, right? Like apparently, if you
I did this yesterday with a friend. Even though I'm not superstitious, I kept looking at her at her necklace, and I was like, I don't want to give it ojo. Let me touch it.
Can you explain what that is? What is that?
So whenever you give something ojo is just Spanish for eye, and but we use it in the context of like evil eye. And so whenever you're looking at something, when you don't want to give it ojo, it's gonna turn ugly later. It's gonna it's gonna turn like mugroso, like dirty, and so you end up having to touch it. Touching it apparently removes the ojo.
See, and I didn't learn that until I moved here. It's like I was like, what the hell? Why everybody want to touch my? I ain't get back. But I'm like, but just in case, go ahead and touch it because I don't want her to have any of that bad stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
so whenever we're touching babies, we're supposed to technically be touching them by their feet because babies put their hands in their mouths. So when you do touch babies, to not give them ojo, I guess you want to touch them by their little feet.
Oh, when we touch babies' feet, it makes them, or you're not supposed to tickle babies' feet.
Right. Well, we don't tickle.
Because what, Lelanie?
It makes them rambunctious. So you don't tickle babies' feet.
I can see that. There's a lot of things that make them rambunctious. You just be like, hey, take this milk and go to sleep, please. Come on now. That's what's up. So let's cover one thing because you had a couple of things that again prompted the whole make it make sense. Hit us with something that you've encountered and you're like, dude, make that make sense. Hit us, Lelanie, because you had a good one.
Oh, when I called you that one day?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was about.
About people giving advice.
About people get. Was that what I said?
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, what is something that people can't possibly understand unless they've gone through it?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So like people trying to give you advice about something they've never been through, right? The biggest thing that I've like that came to mind when you said that, right? Is like people try to give you parenting advice.
Yeah.
But they don't have any kids.
If you don't have any kids.
Like, how does that make sense? You're gonna give me advice, but you ain't got no kids, dog. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
I think that makes me mad.
I remember before I had kids, I was with my friend and we were at the mall and her son was like 4 or 5 years old and he walks by a candy store and he sees this truffle, this chocolate truffle, and he was whining about it and he wanted it and she bought it for him and I was like, I can't believe you bought him a $5 truffle. He goes, you just wait till you have kids. And
sometimes it's worth your peace. Sometimes it's worth your peace. You know what? Shut up. Here you go.
You know what? I got a flip side to that part, and I can make it make sense, but not to that.
Make it make sense.
All right. So I had it was a guy brother who lived with me at one point in time. He was like, Corey, don't have kids. And I was like, why? You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of them. And then I was like, oh, the reason why he's telling me that because he has no freedom. And I was like, oh, because if I had kids, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I did. But I was an individual who wanted kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he was like, look, man, you got the whole world in front of you. Don't go ahead and do this. I think I was 17, 18 when he told me that. And he had like 5 kids by 3 different women. I was like, ooh, okay. And so I was like, and then I lived vicariously through him because he was just sad always. And I was like, okay.
Sounds like maybe he didn't make some good decisions before we start blaming the kids.
Well, no, we're not blaming the kids. He was just saying don't have kids because obviously he had kids and
he's trying to say it.
He's like, trying to say me.
Bro, you don't want this life.
You don't want this life. You don't want this life. Yeah.
You know, it's funny, right? That remind me of a story, man. Like I saw a new dad one time, and he was just panicking, and the anxiety was high up, and I could tell. I'm like, and I was just like, new father. He was like, yeah, like I thought I smelled that scent in the air. Who was the scent of a new father? Like I could smell it. I'm like, oh, welcome, brother.
Welcome, you know what I'm saying? Welcome to fatherhood.
Welcome to fatherhood, because he was losing his mind, man.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, man. I remember the first major crisis that I had. Well, I thought it was a crisis at the time when my baby got her first fever. Bailey, she had her first fever. I was like, I picked her up from the daycare early because the daycare called me. She's like, she's burning up. I'm like, okay, let me go. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I have 2 twins who are older, so, but you know, I didn't have that situation. So I went to go pick up Bailey, and she was hot. I was like, okay, I'm taking her to the hospital. I took her to the hospital, And I was like, and Bailey couldn't stop crying, and she never cries. My boo-boo never cries. If she cries, that means something is wrong, somebody, and I'm fighting.
Yeah.
So I go park the car. I'm running up and down. I'm running up, well, not up and down, I'm running through, holding her on my arm, like looking to get to the emergency. And then they go ahead and put the they go ahead and check her temperature, put the thermometer under her arms. She was 104. They put it in her mouth, different one. She was 104. So I'm in there nervous. I'm praying. I'm crying. I'm scared and everything. 20 minutes go by. She's not crying anymore. I go in and looking at her temperature regular. She had a tooth coming in.
I was about to say, is she teething?
She was
the
teething.
first thing I hear, fever. Is she teething?
Man, do you know? I was like, oh God. I was man. And then when the second teeth, the other side of her mouth started teething coming in, I was like, and so instead I just took my finger, my little pinky, and just started rubbing her gums. And then the fever went away. I didn't put Hennessy on it like they tell you to do. No, I didn't put no Hennessy because that's another myth. Okay, I'm not getting my baby drunk.
Hey man, I had babies in my older ones in the early 2000s. They had some Hennessy. That's what. Hey, grandma said, "Hey, just put a little dab of Hennessy on them gums. They be all right." I don't know if that's a superstition, but it worked.
I mean, it's alcohol. When you think about what it does to your body, if it numbs certain parts of your bodies, or heats it up, I imagine it would help. I wouldn't say that's a superstition. I think that's just a preference.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't know if that counted, but hey, I mean, it's not like we was giving the whole fifth.
Look, Dr. Poole,
hey, he's 22 now, so now we take Hennessy a different way.
Look, Dr. Poole says, so since you guys have kids, would you give me the same advice to me that was given to Corey without having kids? No, bro, have kids.
No.
Yeah, because
you have kids.
You know,
we live in a weird culture right now where like kids are seen as inconveniences in people's lives, but really when you're doing it the right way and you're with a good stable person, like that's all going to be key. If you're out messing around and you end up having a baby with somebody you have no feelings for, it's going to be hard to want to tie yourself and bond yourself with the baby. But when you love somebody and you want to have children with them, it's going to make all the difference. It really
But Dr. Poole,
what's your advice on that, Lelanie? For someone who's Dr. Poole is asking, would we give that person advice? What would be your advice about having kids, Lelanie?
I mean, do you like your sleep? Like, because you're gonna miss out on that.
Whoa, wait a minute. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Dr. Poole is in his early 40s.
Yeah, he's our age.
Okay,
so
never too late.
I get that. The only thing that
getting your sleep, or never too late to start losing some.
Yeah.
I just say do it because you old, dog. Might as well have it at some point.
Well, he's a guy. He can have kids. He can have kids until whenever he wants. He just needs to make sure that he gets with the lady whose body can still have children.
Yeah, because the older you get, the more complications you have with pregnancy. You know
good point. You know what? Actually, because I do have a 2-year-old, and I'll share my story real quick. My wife is younger than me, and it was for that reason. Like when we met up, I'm like, "Hey, you trying to get pregnant?" Because I know I wanted just one more. And like normally I go for older women, but it wasn't feasible because like older women may have complications having a baby. Like I was just getting straight to the point. Like I would go on dates, like, yo, let's not waste time. You're not looking to get pregnant like right now. Let's not waste it. Good meeting you though. Have a good meal, maybe a couple of shots, and hey, have a nice life. You know what I mean?
We're not practicing because I'm potent.
Yeah. I am half Mexicano, so I don't miss, baby.
Yeah. Look. For real. So actually after thinking about it, the question to Dr. Poole is, are you healthy enough to raise that young man or woman, because of the fact that 18 years from now that child that you raise will be an adult?
Yeah.
Will you be able to walk that daughter down the aisle if she gets married in her early 20s? Will you be able to have that first drink with your son in the early 20s and still be coherent? Will you be able to have these things? Because true story, hand to God, my father my biological father, who I have a relationship as far as friend, but not a father-son relationship.
Yeah.
He 2 years ago he had another child.
Ooh.
He's 70. He'll be 73. And low key, when he come back in town, because he's from Honduras, and when he come back in town, we're gonna have a real conversation. Because and I was very mad because I'm like, son, and it's not because of a father and son thing. It's the fact that you bring in this kid into this world at 73 years old.
Yeah.
Mind you,
Ooh.
when that kid turns 18, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be in your mid 80s. That's not fair to this kid that you're bringing in because they don't have a normal father. They don't have a normal, they stay together with, the record has it, he doesn't stay with women. So if he changed his ways and decides to stay with this woman, the hard part of that whole situation is you're going to be raising a child as a grandfather, because you are already a grandfather. I have kids, so you're a grandfather.
Yeah.
Look, ain't nothing wrong with being a father and a grandfather. Look here, because he's saying he's scared of that because he's reaching grandfather age. Look, I got a 2-year-old and I'm about to become a grandfather.
That's nothing wrong with that. You're in your 70s. You're in your 40s, bro. You're in your 40s.
I hear you. Like, he's saying that he thinks he'll be a great father. Honestly, Bobby, I think, had the best advice. Like at our age, like real talk, like take the time. I would honestly say make sure you know yourself. You know what I mean? Because like I was confident when I was looking for Amanda, and I was like, hey, we figured it out. I'm like, hey, this is it right here, like straight up. Like I know I want to have a kid, but I only want to make sure we're gonna get through this together because I know how it is to not be with the mom full time. You know what I mean? It sucks. So you got to do that work. Make sure you're good and ready and know your flaws and flags. We talked about red flags, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sarah. So you can work it out, right? Because you gotta, if you take the time, like Bobby said, to make sure you find someone that's compatible with you, because someone should be able to complement your life, not complicate it, right? That's let me say it again. Someone needs to be able to complement your life, not complicate it.
I would encourage you to talk to the other person about parenting too, because the last thing you want to do is be a parent with somebody who doesn't parent similar to you. And before you know it, you're just sitting here butting heads the whole time. That's not good for you, for your spouse, or the kid.
And speaking of which, we got a video about that with Sarah talking about how parenting, different parenting styles can be red flags to relationships. Come on now. We got the blueprint for you, man. We got the questions for you to ask. I'll make sure I'll link it in the description below. Great plug right there, Bobby. But honestly, that's my take.
News you can use
news
on a daily basis.
Oh yeah. Yep. What you think about that advice we just shared, Lelanie, for our brother, Dr. Poole?
Look, I'm a smart ass. I was gonna say, find you a 20-year-old that'll take care of you and the baby.
Right.
Hey. You saw I had to go younger. She's in her 30s. So I mean, I didn't quite go. I mean, I went out on a couple of dates with women in their 20s, but I just that maturity wasn't there for me. It just couldn't connect. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I had to go up to the 30s.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Well,
dang, the dirty 30.
Hey, it's like,
do what works for you.
Yeah, do what works for you. No, but good point though. To that point, Lelanie, like when I was younger and I saw older dudes with like younger women, and I thought them dudes was just dirty old dudes, and now I'm older and I'm like, oh, I get it now. Okay, yes. All right. Yes. I did not know. And again, right, because sometimes it takes a while to become, stable, right, financially. And men, it may take most of us a while to get there. Then once we get there, we do want to have babies. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we want to be able to leave a legacy behind.
Leave that legacy behind, and we go younger because we know the younger ones will have the wombs that can handle it. Just keeping it a G. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of what you were saying, Lelanie, right? Part of take care of you, have a low risk pregnancy, right? And then take care of that baby because you are old, fool. So we need someone there to take care of that baby when you go.
I just think that be a billionaire, you're gonna be all right. Because look, I look, Dr. Poole, Get rich, bro. Then you all right.
Get rich. Hey, we working on that too. We so I think we got time for one more. Make it make sense. You got something for us? Because if not, Lelanie, I think I got one that'll take us out. But I'll give you the floor.
No, you go ahead.
All right, make this make sense. This has been coming up a lot, right? So like what when people get out there, especially family, they get out there, right? And they do dumb and they get themselves locked out, then they want you to bail them out. Make that make sense. Like, you did some dumb, now you locked up, but you mad at me because I don't want to bail you out. Like,
we're holding a plate sale this week. We're holding a plate sale. In our culture, there are people who do that. Oh, we're doing a plate sale this week. Why? So you can get people out of lockup, knowing damn well he's gonna be back there at the end of the month, and you pay all that bail money for what? That fool ain't gonna let his license. Leave it out there.
Like, okay, I'm with you. I'm with you, Bobby, because I be seeing people, they be having this shirt, free little kill. No, don't free little kill. Little kill locked up because he killed too many times. Okay, you know what I'm saying? No, don't free little kill. Why would I want to free little? The name kill. Nah, he killed too many. That means he's leave little kill locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They go fund me for my cousin Nuke because they want to. I mean, like, he gonna jump bail. He going straight to Canada. He ain't even going to Mexico. He going to Canada. As soon as he get out of jail, he going to Canada. Why? Because Drake there.
Oh my God.
I don't get it, but I like it.
Hold on, we're coming home.
What's your take on that, Lelanie?
Hey, you did the crime, you pay the time.
Yeah, I'm straight to it, man. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Because what you said, right? Lack of accountability. Because something like that happened to me recently, right? And I would never allow myself to do that because for me, the way I think, right? The only time I'm willing to do it is if you had to do something to protect your family, right? Like if someone was threatening family and you did it and you got locked up, okay, I understand that. I'll come get you, right? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And something happened which wasn't that, but he caught me on a good day, family member. I'm like, all right, I'll go ahead and bail you out, right? So I did everything online, but since I don't do this, I did not realize once you do it all online, you got to actually go to the bail bond place to get the bail and then take it to the prison, right? Because I try to distance myself from that, right? Long story short, what ended up happening, his pops had to go get him out. I had to get my money back from the Bailbonds place. A week later, he got locked up again.
You got saved, brother. You got saved.
I'm so glad. And that was the one and done. That was one and done for me. Like,
that's good though, because we know people get locked up for stupid stuff. If I got locked up because I was handling business, I wasn't out there acting a fool. I was handling business, and I got arrested. Like, you better come and get my butt out of here. Like, these people wrongly accused me and stuff. So I'm like, well, I guess it's a situational. You know what I mean? But if somebody's got a bad rap and they're in jail at least once every couple of months, like, don't you dare waste your money or your time. Just let it ride. Let it ride.
Said, I'll just sing Akon to them. You got locked up. They won't let you.
Creator said, you bailed out our sis.
I didn't bail her out. Not me. Not this guy.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Do I know this is?
You might, but I ain't never put no money down on nobody. It was the one time, and I got my money back. So
get your money back.
Have you ever bailed anybody out, Corey?
No.
What about you, Lelanie?
No, I used to get calls.
The only person who I would bail out is my wife. Okay. And my wife, we need to tell our kids, you go to jail. If you get older and you do something stupid, you go to jail, don't call me. Don't call me.
I've told the kids the same exact thing. The best thing I can do for you as a parent is to love you hard, even when you make hard decisions, and to make sure that you stay accountable for the things that you do. Because if we hold your hand through life, you'll never learn. And sometimes that requires hard love. So I've told my kids the same thing. I love you. You got to know that, but I ain't supporting every single loving decision you make once you step out of this home. Do not call me if you get locked up. Don't let me be your one call because I will hang up on you.
Yeah. I told my kids they going to the military. So my wife don't like it. My wife is like, nah, that ain't happening. I was like, look, if they ain't learning by the time they turn 18, guess what? They graduate from high school on the 9th of June. They turn 18 on the 27th. So they're legally still in my house. They gonna already have taken the ASVAB. They gonna already be signed up. Bruh, the ship is leaving 2 days before your birthday. You gonna be gone. You gonna be a boot camp on your birthday. Play with me. Play with me.
You were saying something, Lelanie?
I lost my train of thought.
Have you ever bailed anybody out?
No, I have not. But when I was younger, I would get calls from the jail, friends, and so just to talk, not even.
Wow.
Oh, just to talk. Okay, that's different. I'll support you. I'll listen to you and your woes.
There, yeah.
So you were accepting them collect calls, huh?
Collect call from prisoner 258-5467.
I accept. I used to
I'm like,
accept man.
that's Shelly. Let me pick it up.
I used to get that for some of my uncles, man. I got a couple uncles that just could not stay out. Goodness gracious. But no, I'm like you. I would tell my family that, like, dude, I ain't got no money for bail. I remember one time I had a family member get locked up. Bailbonds person called me and they was like, you want to get him out? Nope. And I was like, hey, are you able to pass messages? They was like, yeah. And I was like, pass this message. Tell him, remember when I told you I don't have money for bail? Just ask him that. And they was like, you really want us to ask that? Yes. Because I told you I ain't got it, dog.
I ain't got it, dog. I be seeing these people put their house up. I'm like, you put your house up for your kid, and you know your kid is that's not smart. That math is not. The only way you benefit from this house is when I pass away. Then the generational wealth get passed it to you. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be a tenant. I'm gonna rent this house to you. I'm gonna rent one of my properties out to you. No, I'm not cashing in on this just to bail you out. You better be lucky if I put you on my credit or put you on the credit card when you turn 17 and have good credit at 18. Please believe.
Oh yeah. So I think, you know what? That's a wrap for tonight. We had fun. This was a really fun episode, Lelanie. Thanks again. I think at the beginning you blessed us with so much game. Yes. So we'll make sure it'll be its own segment, its own video episode. We'll put it out there as for people could refer to as a guide, right? We'll have your LinkedIn out there. So give us one final thought to close this out, Lelanie. Anything you want to throw out there?
I don't have anything. One this is funny, but
like everybody looking at you now, like
I know.
You put her on the spot.
I know. There was just this thought I was looking at, or what I read, that a saying, we run things not run we.
Hey, I like that.
I like that. We run things don't run we. I like that. It sounds like to me you saying take accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave it to fate. I like that, because if people take accountability and they don't leave it to fate and do dumb ish, we ain't got to bail them out. I like that.
It's a Jamaican saying.
Oh, it's a Jamaican saying. Oh, you must have just got back.
Things that run we.
We run teams, man. Teams don't run me.
Hey, I like that. That's what's up. Marcus Kimball on IG was asking what was the topic. We just closed. We wrapping it up, but the topic was make it make sense. And we'll be doing this at least one topic to say make it make sense moving forward. But other than that, Bobby Lopez, tell them how to get in contact with you for your services, ma'am.
Sure. You can find me at Facebook at Bobby Lopez, Instagram, Bobby.Lopez.5. I am the sole owner of Patriot Restorations, LLC, for all your water mitigation and mold mitigation needs. We service Atascosa, Bexar County, and Wilson County, and San Antonio and the surrounding areas of Texas only. call me, hit me up. We'll take care of you. 15% discount for military on carpet and tile cleaning services.
Hey, I like
soon to have government contracts.
Oh, I like you put it in
Thank you. I received that. I received that.
Yes, I like that. Thank you, Lelanie. And then Corey Giovanni, how can they get in contact with you for your services?
What's up? It's your main man with the game plan, Corey Giovanni. You can reach me at Corey Giovanni on all social medias and check it. For your music, marketing, and video and entertainment services, we are having a special $500 for the end of the year. The first 5 miles is free to travel. Afterwards, there's an additional $50 per mile going over. Also, guess what? Your buddy is going to add those editing tools, editing skills in there for you for free. So tap in with your boy at Corey Giovanni on all platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and the X. Holla at your phone.
Oh yeah. And then I am Geronimo, aka Tech Von Go, and you can reach me at Tech_Von_Go. I still got two apartment units for rent out there in Almost Park, San Antonio, which is a very upscale area. You know, you got to be sophisticated. If you're looking for a sophisticated area to live in San Antonio, hit me up on all platforms except for TikTok, because I don't do TikTok. But other than that, another great show. Thanks again, Lelanie. We appreciate you, and we are out.